Hello and welcome to another episode. Behind me is the Rhone River and we've just crossed over into the beautiful Ardèche region of France. We're heading back to the ASF 4.0 shoe factory for the first time in 2 years. Why? Because there's a brand new shoe coming from Salomon and it's made right here in France. Stick around. Two years ago, we hit the road from Annecy and landed here in Ardèche, shortly after the ASF 4.0 opened its doors to make locally produced footwear. And now we're back because ASF 4.0 is upping its game to make the new S-Lab Phantasm 2 made in France. It's a carbon-plated shoe for road runners who want to go really fast. If you don't know a ton about making footwear, and really why would you, that might not seem like big news at all. But a high-performance road running racing shoe made right here in France, it's big news, my friends. Before we get into the shoe, how about a quick recap? ASF 4.0 is an ultra-modern footwear factory located in Ardèche, France. And Salomon is a partner in this super cool and new facility. Here, a team of about 90 people work across various roles in production and engineering to create footwear using parts that come mostly from France and across Europe. ASF 4.0 relies on a combination of automation, all these skilled professionals, and the matrix material created right next door at Chamatex. Before we learn what it took to make this shoe here at ASF 4.0, let's talk to Gatien about the performance goals of the S-Lab Phantasm 2 made in France. All right, we jump back here to the Salomon ADC to learn more about this S-Lab Phantasm 2 made in France. So we got Gatien here. He is the product manager for Salomon's road running area. He's also very fast as a runner. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Tell me about this. We have this shoe, but now this is the made in France version.
Yeah, so we are not new to made in France. This is the first thing. Made in France at Salomon started with trail running, and now we thought that it was time to bring it to the road running range, and we challenged ourselves to kick it off with the fastest shoe we have in the range, the S-Lab Phantasm 2.
Okay, and that's a unique challenge because this is like the shoe that has to be high performing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It needs to meet all the highest standards and requirements that our elite athletes need. So this is the made in France version of it. So we have the same PIBA midsole on the top and bottom layer with the carbon plate. So the bottom unit is the same. And then we reworked entirely the upper. It's a completely new matrix upper. We challenged the team on both development and industrial side and material teams as well to bring matrix to another level for road racing expectations basically. So have a material that is flexible, extremely lightweight and breathable.
There's some differences, I guess, right, to the made in France model and the model that's everywhere else, because this is a limited amount of pairs that we're creating.
Absolutely. So first of all, you will notice some silver threads. So the beauty of matrix that we can play with absolutely every thread. So we managed to place them the smartest way, and both design and development engineered it to optimize everything. And then this is an S-Lab model, but it's not red and white as the current S-Lab Phantasm 2. So the goal here was to pay a tribute to our honesty of tech, as we call it, so that we can really see the engine and what's inside. So mainly white, huge Salomon branding, and for example, a pearl TPU so that we have some details and some nice light effects when you turn the shoe, and then some very thin details. On the right foot it will be made in France. On the left foot it will be the GPS coordinate of the factory. So it's going to be plenty of little details.
Localized details.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you say a look under the hood in a way. That's this you can almost see through it in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the mesh is extremely breathable. Construction is extremely lightweight. We are more or less at the same weight as the current S-Lab Phantasm 2 version, yes. What's
the reason you would try to make this in France? Because the product that's coming from Asia is obviously doing the job right now with athletes. They're all using it. Why try to do this?
Yeah, so it really starts from an R&D and industrial challenge. Okay. So challenging ourselves to make the first made in France road running shoe. And this made in France shoe will replace entirely the current S-Lab Phantasm 2 in Europe to have like a racing shoe that is produced locally for local runners.
Okay.
So same price, 250 euro, and it's really like a strong commitment from the brand and deliver at least the same level of performance as well, to deliver top performances and have the shortest distance from the factory to the starting line.
Okay, so you gave us a ton of great information. Are you the guy to tell us all about the R&D story of this? How we did it in the factory? Can you speak to that as well?
I think you should definitely go back to Chamatex and talk with Laurent. He's the R&D manager. He will be way more expert than I am.
You're just trying to get rid of me. All right, my thanks to Gatien for the deep dive on the new S-Lab Phantasm 2. But to get to this point where the shoe is ready to be run in, there's a lot of research and development that goes into it. So I'm going to introduce you to Laurent. He works in footwear R&D for Salomon. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good. First of all, we got all the info on the product from Gatien, but you're doing the work before that.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get this thing to market?
It has taken 2 years from the brief until the market.
Okay, wow, so it's 2022. That seems like a long time ago. Is this easy to do? This is S-Lab, this is high performance. Is this an easy process?
No. It's not easy to do an S-Lab shoe,
Okay.
and here we do it locally.
Okay, so another level of challenge. All right, you said it's not easy. Maybe you can give us like the top 3 kind of challenges to make it happen.
So the first one was to be able to develop a super light, breathable and resistance fabric. We developed it with Matrix. Second one was to be able to create the shoe and to assemble it on the automated line of ASF. And the third one was to be able to bring a shoe with all the specifications we expect from a racing shoe.
Okay, just what you're saying, like raise the level to S-Lab, high performance, road racing, so we know it performs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, let's take a look and see how it was done.
Okay, let's go.
All right. What is this, the machine?
This one is a laser cutting. As the Matrix is using super specific thread, we need to use laser cutting to make sure to have good cutting and good quality. Super precise. Here we are cutting the power band. I show you. We are cutting this piece and this piece.
Okay.
And this is a cutter machine. So this is the second kind of machine we are using for material preparation. Here it's for more common material.
The other part of the upper bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is step 2?
Exactly. So all the pieces are just behind. And here the people are doing the assembly of several layers. And then we go on this machine for heating. So this is where we weld all the different layers together.
So it's the upper?
Yes, exactly, on the upper. So at this period we are still flat. We are not in shape. Yeah. Then it's go around and it's come until here for the different printing, the logo, the French flag, S-Lab and others. We call that flat upper.
Flat upper.
And we go on the third step for the assembly.
Okay. So we went from a flat piece over there, and what are they doing behind us here? Is this becoming a real shoe? So
Yeah, exactly. So behind us they are assembling other pieces, like the tongue, some foam, ilkunta and stuff.
Okay.
And they are doing the different stitching to have the upper in shape, ready to be assembled with the sole.
So it's starting to look like a comfortable shoe.
Yeah, it's a comfortable shoe.
Cushioning, the tongue, etc.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what's next?
Assembly with the bottom unit. Here we combine the automation and the knowledge of the operator, and we assemble a super foam which is super soft with high rebound, so difficult to make the attaching, and then we have the carbon plate inside, so it requires us a specific way to apply pressure to make sure that we don't damage the plate.
So human skills plus robot skills to make a high-end product.
This is the beauty of ISF.
Since we first came here to ASF 4.0 2 years ago, a lot has changed. And to get the answers to how much has changed, we're going to talk to Lucy. She's the managing director of ASF 4.0. How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
How much production is going on here? How many shoes?
So right now we produce 500 pairs per day, and when you came 2 years ago it was around 50 pairs per day.
Wow, 10 times more production.
Yes.
Math, see that math skills. What about the people? Because I see a lot more people here now, so it seems like the factory has created more jobs locally, which is good. A lot of different skills too. I think there were maybe 10 people per shift 2 years ago. What about now?
Now we have around 90 people in total, so
Okay, wow.
around 25 people per shift. and other people are engineers to develop the product, the machine, and so on.
Okay, all day, all night, making
Yes.
shoes. And the capabilities too, I guess, have changed, right?
For sure. So when we started 2 years ago, we were able to produce and to develop only one model. And now we learn a lot, and we are able to produce some models, some outdoor model until road running models. So we are able, yes, to offer a lot of different kind of technologies, of yes, kind of models with.
So like making a wide variety of footwear for all different purposes.
Yes.
What's next for ASF 4.0? Because you can't put too many more people in here.
Yes, no additional people here.
Okay.
But for the next steps for ASF, so we plan to open a new, bigger factory with 6 automatic line, like this line you have here.
Here in France, or where will it be?
In Europe.
In Europe, okay. So you're talking about a lot of production locally in Europe, so more people across Europe will be able to buy shoes that are made locally.
Yes,
Pretty cool.
exactly.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
So that's the story. The S-Lab Phantasm 2, made in France, will be available at select retailers all across Europe, and also on Salomon.com. But you better hurry, because I already got one pair.